Hey, what's up everybody? This is Richy here, and these are the spawn chunks. The area where I spent my first few days, the area where you spawn in, that is also always loaded on your world. No matter where you go in this world, this section of 16 by 16 chunks will always be loaded, it will always be there, and today we're gonna make a few modifications to it. Basically, there's a farm in the world of Minecraft that I've yet to build, and that is a passive mob farm. Not a mob farm for things like skeletons or zombies. This one is for yummy things like sheep and chicken and cows. And it's very, very hard to build because the first thing you have to do is take away all the grass blocks in your spawn chunks. Now, the reason for this is very simple. Mobs spawn on grass. Passive mobs can't spawn without it. So as long as mobs can spawn in your spawn chunks, they're less likely to spawn anywhere else. Because let's say you have a render distance of 16, or 8 actually, you're walking around, you have 16 chunks loaded in total, a 16 by 16 square. The spawn chunks is also a 16 by 16 square, and mobs can spawn in that just as easily. Now, they can't spawn when you're not around, but there is another problem, which is hostile mobs don't really despawn, so any mobs in your spawn chunks will count toward the spawn cap. They won't go away ever, and because of that, other mobs won't be able to spawn. So today, we're removing all of the grass out of the spawn chunks with a shovel by turning them into path blocks. And I don't know if this is all I'm going to do this episode. I do have some other interesting things planned, but it is the major thing. And of course, there's no way we're going to finish this. The spawn chunks are massive, but I really want to get started on it. The thing is, passive mob farms are amazing. We're talking after a few minutes of AFKing this, we can get enough meat for a lifetime in Minecraft. Double chests and double chests full of it. And after that, we can use the meat to trade with villagers and get a ton of emeralds, far more than we're getting from pumpkin and melon trades. So without further ado, we're going to start path blockifying the spawn chunks, and we're going to do it in a time lapse. Now, of course, we're not going to be finishing this anytime soon, because the spawn chunks are just massive. A 16 by 16 chunk area, which is how big the spawn chunks is, amounts to about 65,500 blocks to mine. Now, of course, not all surface blocks are grass. We have plenty of water, we have plenty of stone, so luckily, we're not going to have to mine all of those, but it's still going to be a massive challenge. Just fencing in this area is going to take 16 stacks of fence. So while I plan to get a good amount of this done in this episode, I definitely don't plan to finish it. And I think what I'm going to do is in the next few episodes every once in a while, just have a time lapse where I clear out a little bit more of the spawn chunks. And I think that'll work out pretty good. It'll be a nice distraction from whatever projects I'm working on, because this is definitely a long-term project. This is not something that you can finish easy. And for those of you mentioning it down in the comments, yes, I know there are many easier ways to do that, but I don't want to keep that many enemies loaded on the outside, if that's the way you're thinking of, and if you have another way, like TNT, well, we're probably gonna get desperate and get into that at some point, too. The other thing I want to mention is the mechanization server, a tiny little SMP I've done one episode on so far, and a lot of you might think I just gave up on it, because there has been no episode 2, it has been a little while now, and nothing's happened. And the reason for that is, well, my internet sucks. I hit my data cap. Yes, I actually have a data cap, and I basically can't play online at all right now. Which does suck, but as soon as it comes back, I will go and make another episode from there. I don't think I can make weekly episodes on that server, but I'll try to get as many out as I can. In fact, I just played a UHC with those guys, but unfortunately, my footage for that sort of screwed up. I'm not gonna blame the computer. It was absolutely my fault. I was messing around with files. I changed the location of the folder I recorded in, and I didn't change the setting on my recording software that said which folder to record to. Meaning, basically, it tried to record to a non-existent location, so obviously the file is non-existent, which isn't that great, though at some point you are gonna get to see that, because I was with a partner in that UHC, Albert Berg of the Human Echoes podcast, who I've done collabs with before, and on his channel, hopefully at some point, his POV will be uploaded. So you can go check that out. I'll leave the link to their channel in the description. Their video is most definitely not going to be up yet, but I will tell you when it is, and it might be a while. And Al, if you're watching this, I feel like I almost have to apologize for that UHC. I made you start early, the action was a little mediocre until the end, and of course now my recording footage did not work correctly, but I did have a lot of fun in it. It was pretty great, and hopefully some record of it will survive on YouTube. And the last thing I want to talk about is the future of this channel. As many of you know, it's that special time of year where thousands and millions of children get dragged kicking and screaming back to school. And while my school doesn't start till September, I am still not looking forward to it anymore. Me and school don't really get along. And of course, school will interrupt my YouTube broadcasting schedule. I'm not officially changing my schedule, and I don't plan on making any less videos. I mean, I made 4 videos a week perfectly fine during school, and I think I can do it again, but some delays are inevitable. That's just the way it goes. But I think I've gotten the hang of YouTube. I can make videos a lot faster than I used to be able to, and I think that will help a lot. Also, with my new computer, I can render and edit videos far faster than I could before. But with that all said, I think that's enough clearing for today, and just to give you a perspective of this is how much we have to clear. Of course, we're missing a little bit of fence on the side that I'll have to fill in at some point, but there is a lot of dirt here. It's not impossible, but we have a lot of trees to chop, and a lot of things to finish. And we're back. We got a lot of progress done. I like what we've done here, but cutting down trees just isn't fast enough. Now, I don't want to damage the terrain because I'm thinking of turning this into a big apocalyptic wasteland after. I mean, I think it's cool to have an entire area of chunks where everything you can see is this brown shade. I think we could not only use this to build a mob farm, but have a lot of potential for building, because this is a block that you don't really see naturally in the game of Minecraft. But trees, I want to go, and I think you already know how we're going to do that. With controlled fire. Forget the controlled part. I don't think this will go too bad, hopefully. It is a peninsula, so all these sides are surrounded by water. This side, of course, is grass, and the other side, well, there's still a forest as we cross the border. So what I want to do is run up to where our wall is here and just sort of cut down the trees around the border. I don't think the fire is going to spread that far, but if it does, we'll be prepared and everything can burn in a safe and eco-friendly manner. What do I mean this is good for the ecosystem? I'm making an apocalyptic wasteland. The perimeter is now cleared and safe, so none of that fire will spread. And actually, I think I made the right call on using fire, because look how much area we've already cleared with it. I am really liking this. Of course, at some point, I'm inevitably going to light myself on fire and die, but this is a very, very fast way to clear out forests. It's not a good thing. I can remember in my first days of Minecraft, I had it on my old iPod, and I was just minding my own little business. I had this tiny hut in the middle of a desert, and I had this grove of trees next to me I grew, and I accidentally caught it on fire. I spent all night trying to get that under control, and it was not pretty at all. I think I lost most of the forest and died several times, but I got it under control. I remember how sad I was when that went crazy. But here, I've learned a few things. Also, things like enchantments exist on this version of Minecraft, and hopefully nothing will go wrong. So I'm going to continue lighting everything I see on fire, including myself, apparently, and I'll get back to you in a little bit. And as the sun rises over the ashes of our brand new civilization, I think, fire was really the way to go. This whole area took me like a half hour, and then we go and clear it out with fire in 5 minutes. And as you can see, there are spots we missed. There are spots the fire never got to. But as a whole, it destroyed this forest really, really fast. Man, that kind of freaks me out. Like, I have places in my world and in servers with beautiful forests, and one little spark of fire could just ruin everything. But in Share Thoughts, everything seems to have gone pretty well here. We didn't have any issues with the fire spreading at all. And yeah, it looks all good. The forest on the other side is intact. I sort of feel bad for burning this. But the good thing about Minecraft is your world is infinite. I mean, not technically infinite, but far larger than the surface of the actual real world. At least if you're playing on PC. I know Xbox has bigger maps, but they're not quite infinite yet. Which is sad, but you know what? It doesn't really matter. Minecraft is Minecraft. And as you can see, the fire wasn't perfect. It left quite a lot of logs floating in the air, but the amount of work I had to do was reduced drastically. So I think we're going to try things like that on the other side. I mean, this was the biggest area of trees we had, and we still have to get all the grass off of there. But I think I'm going to leave that for another day, because we've done just about enough work here. I'm liking what I see, and I'm liking the idea of turning this place into an apocalyptic wasteland. I think that would be really cool. So I think for now, we're just going to move on to another project and finish this up in the future. But if I have one weakness in the entire game of Minecraft, that is definitely me leaving things unfinished. So today, we're going to amend something that we have left unfinished for far too long. The chapel that was home to our 100 subscriber special. I was going to put a floor in here. I was going to pretty this up, but I never really got around to it. So today, we're going to at least finish this roof, finish up the sides a little bit, and hopefully give these subscribers the credit they deserve. Gosh, I'm still missing diamond blocks in here. I gotta fix that up. And progress. We've done just a little bit of work on here, and I like what I see. Obviously, we're missing a lot of blocks and a little bit of polish, but this build, especially just the concept of it, is something I really like. The nice arched roof, and the fact that this build is actually only 2 blocks, stone brick, and, of course, nether brick. But it's very simple for what it is, and I like that. This roof is a very simple roof, actually. Basically, we just have lines going up, getting longer every time, and then on the top we have a tiny bit of an arch with slabs. And the same for these sides. We basically just have these lines going sideways, and they conflict with this, run into each other, and then we just top it off with a little bit of an arch, and it looks great. Now, of course, we have a little bit of a problem on the unfinished back of this build, because eventually we're going to have something around here, and I want to make sure it doesn't conflict with that when we build it. So I think at some point I'm going to mark this out before I build the back of the tower, just to be safe. As far as the inside goes, I'm not quite sure. I think I'm going to have torches or some sort of light on the bottom to make it glow, but keep the ceiling dark and ominous, because that looks pretty cool. And what I'm basically thinking is we're going to fill this side in here with stone bricks. Creeper! I do not like creepers. We're going to fill this side in with stone bricks, and then put some sort of a big arching door right here with maybe a staircase going up. And I think that'll look good. The last thing I need to implement in this build is some connection to the secret entrance, because if we fall down this cave, we can actually go all the way to our base. And while that's cool, I want that to still be there, so we're going to have some sort of a redstone contraption to do that. But unfortunately, guys, I think that's just about all the time I have for today. As you can see behind me, we added in some more stuff on this wall right here, and I want to keep doing that. And I think I really need to do a lot more building off camera. So when I get back in the next episode and you see me, by then, that church I was working on will be done, because there are old things in this world I really need to finish up that I've been neglecting for far too long. But anyway, guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. But this has been Richie. I hope you liked this video, and I will see you next time.